Hi there everyone, my name's Evan Nill. Doing a presentation right now. Check it out, got a computer. So my presentation, if I can line it up correctly, is on emotional intelligence. So here we go. I started it out with a quote. Actually, since all of you are in the same major as me, this was actually something you read, hopefully. It was a book by Stephen R. Covey. So if you can't read this, I'll read it to you. If we keep doing what we're doing, we're going to keep getting what we're getting. Okay, so essentially the book that we read in our first course, it was basically saying that you need to be in a constant state of growth. So that's why I chose to do emotional intelligence for my presentation, is because I didn't know a whole lot about it. I'd heard about it before, but I wanted to do something that I could learn as well as teach to all of you. So with that being said, here are what the heck is it? What the heck is emotional intelligence? So our book, this one, the one that we've been reading this whole time, it basically says that emotional intelligence is, it's like personal skills. And to me, that really wasn't enough of a definition, so it was probably likely that I was going to be looking it up anyways. So this, if you can read it, is the dictionary definition. It says it's the capacity to be aware of, control, and express one's emotions, and to handle interpersonal relationships judiciously and empathetically. So that kind of paints a picture of exactly what we're talking about here. So now some components of EI. So I'm going to be calling it EI. It's the shortened version of emotional intelligence, obviously. This portion here I actually had gotten from an author. His name is Daniel Goleman. He is actually something of a specialist when it comes to emotional intelligence. Our professor actually had suggested that I read his book in order to build this presentation. So first of all, self-awareness. If you don't know what it is, basically, if you are a self-aware individual, you are aware of the impacts that you would make on somebody else. So you, for lack of a better term, tiptoe around things to make it so you're not affecting people negatively. Also, self-regulation. That kind of goes hand in hand with self-awareness, being able to regulate what you do in your actions. And also being able to regulate like bad habits. If you understand that you have a bad habit, then you can change it. Having motivation. So if you are motivated to be emotionally intelligent, if you have a desire to actually have these skills, obviously that's going to help. So empathy is a big one. Being empathetic, or being able to put yourself in other people's shoes. That's something we learn early on in our childhood. And then obviously social skills is a big one. So with anything, there are downsides to being highly emotionally intelligent. There's actually an article written by somebody at Cornerstone University. Her name is Janae Ernst. And it basically says that compromising is one of the things that you might be doing if you're highly emotionally intelligent. You want when you're trying to be diplomatic and you want to just come to a solution, you're more likely to appease somebody else than do what you think is right. So compromising, and then it also may prevent critical thinking. So critical thinking happens when people have opposing ideas. So that's something that would go along with compromising. And then you might be tempted to manipulate somebody if you have emotional intelligence and you understand that you can read what they're expecting of you. So can we learn emotional intelligence? This is important. So with things like intelligent quotient, it's often thought that you can't become smarter. However, with like neuroplasticity, you can kind of bridge gaps between your neurons to help yourself with your memory skills and stuff like that. So with that being said, it is possible for you to gain more emotion. There was actually a study done in which participants, they were given a 15-hour intervention targeting 5 core emotional competencies, and it actually turned out that they were able to have better at-home relationships, better at-work relationships, and overall had better emotional intelligence. So they basically proved that it is possible for individuals to become more emotionally intelligent. With that being said, how can we improve our emotional intelligence? There's an article by Justin Bariso, and he basically says that in order to improve your EI, you want to reflect. So you want to reflect on things that you did throughout the day, things that you could have done better. You also want to be observant. So you want to observe the people around you, how they're acting, how they're feeling, and just ask questions to better understand how they're feeling. And one of the big things is being able to take criticism. So if someone comes to you with something that you can improve on, always be able to say, okay, that's awesome, thank you for giving me that criticism. I'm going to take that to heart and go about improving myself. And then also just practicing. Practice makes perfect, as they say. So yeah. In conclusion, I did talk about quite a few things. I broke down the components of emotional intelligence, gave you a definition of what it was. I proved that it is possible for you to become better with emotional intelligence, and gave you some ideas about how you can be more emotionally intelligent. So, my name's Evan. I hope you enjoyed my presentation, and I look forward to working with you guys for the rest of the year.